Legal Floggle here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Pink Floyd's fourth album called UMMAGUMMA, or UMMAGUMMA, or something like that, but I'll be calling it UMMAGUMMA in the video. What we have here is a double album, one being a live album, which is a very excellent, not to say any spoilers in the review, and another's a very interesting, spooky, creepy, messed up studio album where the band split up and done each of their own individual compositions and come back. So everyone made their own stuff, with even Nick Mason, the drummer. So what we have here is pretty damn special. It's an interesting listen, we'll put it that way. So sit back and relax as I'll be reviewing all of the double album. I'm just going to quickly say now that I'm going to be in loads of different locations when reviewing this album. Anyways, the first track on the live album is called Astronomy Domine. You'll remember this from Piper of the Gates of Dawn. This is absolutely excellent. It started off Piper and now it starts off this. The way how they extended it from 9 minutes, it lasts really well. Imagine Astronomy Domine mixed in with Interstellar Overdrive, but the main question you may be thinking is, are they doing well playing this without Sid? I easily say yes they are. The inclusion of David Gilmour makes it just as good. A bit too long for my likings, but it's still an excellent track and one that you should be looking out for. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. So we'll move on to the second track of the live album, which is called Careful With That Axe Eugene. Now you might be thinking, that's a very messed up kind of title. Well, you're going to get a messed up kind of song. This doesn't actually get a proper studio take until Relic, so that might satisfy you for a person who wants this and be thinking, oh well, I can't really buy this until I get a compilation album. So, Careful Of That Axe Eugene voted one of the scariest songs of all time, and I can see why. I think it's basically because in the first 3 or 4 minutes it starts with something that you might get off more Cymbaline, drawn out and pretty quiet, and something that you probably get out of the usual jazz fusion kind of bar. And then suddenly the bass and the guitars start picking in, and then suddenly you get this very whispery, hollow kind of voice from Waters, Careful With That Axe Eugene, getting faster, and then suddenly, and then wow, it's an amazing song for what it is. I think it'll get your attention. Don't play it at a granny's house, that's all I'll say. And yeah, play it at Halloween, and if you're going to make a horror movie, I'd recommend this. A bit long, but wow, it's an amazing song for what it is. For what it's trying to aim, and I hope it's trying to aim to creep the pants out of you, it's doing a good job. I'll give it a 9.2 out of 10. So the controls for the heart of the song is the third track, and wow, this is extremely long. It's nearly 3 times longer than the original song, and again, drawn out too much, but I have to say that the voice is much clearer, and that's probably the high point because it was a bit too quiet, let's all be honest, and it's also full of secrets. But hey ho, it's a good song to play at night, I'll say. It sets the mood well. It's just basically showing how talented they are. I just can't really describe it. You'd have to listen to it, and it's not a track, it's not the best live take, but hey, do check it out. It's not much to say really, just very well done guitars, and overall a good take. 8.5 out of 10. So, final track, Saucer Full of Secrets. So on my apparent big hit for the original studio take, does my score improve on this? Not particularly, it's still far too long for what it is. I apologise for that. So anyways then, Saucer Full of Secrets, does it get a higher score than the original studio take? Well, I'll give it that it is impressive, it is showing that the band are excellent live, and it's a good idea, you know, mixing it live in the studio. So yeah. Okay then, let's start with the studio album. Here we start with Richard Wright with Sisyphus, or Sisyphus, or however you say it, Sysyphus. So how does Richard Wright do? Well, obviously being the piano guy he is, it is all influenced quite well on the piano and keyboard, accordion, synthesizers, what have you. It's a four-parter. The first part is excellent. It's for like horror movie like thing for Careful of the Oxygen. This is the dramatic piece. It's even better than the more, so they should have done this instead. Excellent starter, and I'll give this an 8.8 out of 10. Thirdly, the second track goes down a bit. The first part of second part, if that makes sense, beautiful piano, I've got to give it. If he only had this original tiny bit, it would have been a 9.3 out of 10. It goes down. Part 3 you're getting much of the same with the latter half of Part 2. It's what probably I think is the worst Pink Floyd song of all time. Yes, it's very clever, the sped up sounds that Waters makes, making these monkey noises, and you'll get that in a later track. And yeah, it's clever and all that, but I just don't find it appealing at all. Yeah, well done for putting this effort into it, but I'm sorry guys, it's not my kind of thing. And it barely gets a 2 out of 10. Like I say, it's probably the worst song I ever made. The noises are too screechy. Sorry, but Part 4 redeems itself a bit. It's still a bit dreary and a bit boring, but hey, it concludes very well. And Richard Wright, all I have to say to you is, well done. It's not as good as Seesaw, but you've done a very good job participating in UMMAGUMMA. You certainly set the mood right for the whole album, and you deserve a 7.8 out of 10. Okay, moving on to Roger Waters' participation in this album, the best of the bunch, which is called Grantchester Meadows. It's the most laid back and most, I was going to say enjoyable, but that depends on your type of mood. What's the word I'm going to look for? Captain Beefheart. It's the most accessible, that's the word. Grantchester Meadows starts with these lovely, relaxing kind of I see wind of night birds, and yeah, it makes you think you're in a forest or the meadows. Then you get this beautiful vocals of really relaxing, clever lyrics, and yeah, see the splashing of the Kingfisher flashing through the water. It's relaxing. It's something that's pretty oxymoron compared to what you'll get from UMMAGUMMA. It's definitely the best song, and it's probably one of my favourite songs I've ever made. That's a really good thing to say, considering I love Pink Floyd. And well done, Roger Waters. You made a brilliant song, and I'd give this a 9.6 out of 10. Definitely a track pick off the whole double album. The second song by Roger Waters on the album is called Several Species of Small Furry Animals Gathered Together in a Cave and Grooving with a Pict. I think it's that anyways. What we have here is basically Sisyphus Part 3 in a way that it's got sped up, slowed down, distorted voices by Roger Waters. It's longer and it's more tolerable, which is nice. They had some comedic value, I have to say, as well, which is good, as it has this Scottish weird accent. It's like a language of Scotland. I don't really know it. My Forever Tree Screen might know it when you get the way he kind of overlaps the noises and all that, and having so many different ones makes it catchy in a weird kind of sense. For something from 1969, I have to say, it's very clever and innovative for its time, and for that kind of sense I'd give it a 9, but for a sense of enjoying it as a song I'd give it about a 5, but hey, all 5's still decent. So now then we get on to the three-parter, which is called The Narrow Way. This is by David Gilmour, and a more folky kind of side of the album. It's more relaxed and a lot like Grantchester Meadows. The first part has this lovely vocal by a woman called Jude, and this was supplied with lovely guitar and laid back kind of thing. It's a more relaxing, sort of like a exhale kind of breath. It's getting chilled more down. But then it starts getting into this distorted kind of guitar that's happening now. And then it brings on to the second part. Now, like Sisyphus Part 1, it reminds me of a dramatic kind of movie kind of thing. And again, it's better than Dramatic Theme by Moore, or the whole kind of concept, which is also really good. It's got this repetitive kind of thing to it, and it's really cool, I have to say. It's a word I don't really use. This part I'd give about a 9, and the other one I'd give it about an 8.5. The third part has this thing that just feels like it's fully completed. And David Gilmour brings this wonderful kind of thing. It feels sort of a bit like, it reminds me of quite a little Cymbeline, but the chorus kicks in. It's got a wonderful vocal and beautiful guitar and very folky, and it's just a really nice song. And I was disappointed, and I was hoping for this to be the end of the album. If you listen to it, it has that sense of a good end to the album. It's a bit of a shame that I didn't stop here, and it goes on a bit long, but that just makes me think even more this is the end of the album. But sadly no, Nick Mason brings us his tune, which is still good, just, you know, I wish they swapped it around, but never mind. The actual song itself, everything is great about it, and it's the best song, like parters kind of wise, if you know what I mean. Like, it's the second best song, but it's the best song parters wise. I give it a 9.4 out of 10. So, as said, we get on to Nick Mason's three parters, which is called the Grand Visa's Garden Party. Now, the part one is, it's got a name called Entrance. It's nice that they've got names, by the way. And it's just a minute long. It's got lovely flutes and doesn't have any drumming in, which is interesting seeing as though Nick Mason is a drummer, and just shows that him as a conductor or whatever, right, as a musician, is good. And I think they should do a lot more with Nick Mason. I mean, I know he done a few songs like Scream Thy Last Scream, and he also done Corporal Clegg, but you know, he should do a bit more, and this shows that it's really good. Part 1, yeah, it's good, it's a 7. Part 2 is really the only full song as the other ones. It's only 37 seconds long, but this part is 7 minutes long and just basically shows how much of a really good drummer he is. He knocks in these really clever bits into it, knocking in, starts off with this repetitive kind of drumming, it brings in this creepy synthesizers. It's good. Yeah, great drumming, and everything's really good about it, but I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. I'll quickly review the third part. Think of Entrance, and this is Exit. It's the same thing. In fact, it's the same tune, and just only played a bit different. So again, it'll get a 7. So that's it. So what can I say about this album? Well, it's probably the most messed up album I've heard. Even messed up than More. If you're a fan of More, definitely check this out because it's better than More. Contains some nice ballads, contains some nice folk, contains some nice avant-garde, messed up kind of complex shenanigans. The live album just adds to how good the band is live, and with the inclusion of the wonderful pieces such as Astronomy Domine, I'm careful that axe Eugene. And of course the studio album, although containing a few very poor songs, also has some really nice songs, especially track picks such as Grantchester Meadows and overall the Narrow Way and some parts of Sisyphus. Overall I do say it's worth your money, and yeah, I think I do recommend it, but it's not for new Pink Floyd fans. I'd stick to the Dark Side of the Moon kind of era, and once you get from Dark Side to The Wall, I'd then move back to Piper and then just go through from there, and just enjoy your time. So overall, give this album, it might just edge to an 8. Yes, so it's overall pretty damn good. Thank you very much for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe or whatever, and I'll see you next time for something that I'm looking forward to reviewing, which is Atom Heart Mother. What to hit this camera with? I'll hit it with this Basset Hound. Bye.